Now, 32 people have been confirmed dead and more than 40 others injured after a dam's walls caved in Solai, that's in Nakuru County. The Patel Dam in Solai collapsed after walls caved in and its waters spewed out, flattening more than 300 structures at the Nyakinyui and Kwa Energy villages. Most of the injured are receiving treatment at the Bahati Sub-County Hospital. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i was among senior government officials who visited the area with a KDF team already at the scene. NTV's Brygettes Ngana now joins us live from Nakuru. Brygettes, good afternoon. Not a very good afternoon from Solai, but obviously we have seen what has happened there and you were there in the morning. Tell us, how did this all start, Brygettes?
Well, Ken, it's just a few hours since the tragic collapse of the dam that is in Solai, in Subukia constituency. And so far, the statistics of the lives that have been lost is currently at 32 persons who have been confirmed dead. This is the official number from the security officials. But at the moment, rescue and recovery missions are ongoing. There is a lot of mud and silt that is in that area, a lot of destruction. We understand that more than 300 structures were struck down by the waters of this dam that collapsed. The walls collapsed rather at around between 7:30 and 8 p.m. last night, and this information rather got to the newsrooms later on in the night from around 10:30 p.m. and at that time the death toll was at 8, but as of now, more than 5 hours later, the death toll has gone to above 30, and the number of those injured is above 40 persons who have been given medication. And what we have been able to gather is that some of these people have suffered, actually presenting themselves in these hospitals with injuries ranging from broken wrists and joints and also chest injuries. And that was from conversation I had earlier on with the medical superintendent of the Nakuru Level 5 hospital. But the main hospital that is receiving those people who are being extracted from the scene, be it survivors and also those casualties or the victims of this tragedy, they have been taken to the Bahati Sub-County Hospital. That is the main hospital that has been receiving these people. What have we been able to gather so far is that actually, as we speak, the Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i was already on the ground. He already spoke with the people, and this was the message that he gave them. It was a tragic incident that was unexpected, but they're already setting up tents, or rather stations for relief services to be given to those families. What is the critical issue right now is that they have not been able to identify those who have been directly affected by this dam collapse, but they are in the process of identifying those families that have been directly affected by this tragedy, and also segregating the other people, because there were a lot of people in the area, people coming from the neighboring places. It is just adjacent to the Solai shopping center, and that is the main market center where these people usually would go for their social amenities. It's near the hospital. Adjacent to where the waters of this dam washed over is the Solai Boys School, and we could confirm to those people who are concerned or they might have students in this school is that they are okay. None of the students at Solai High School, Solai Boys High School, has been affected negatively by this tragedy, but in the area adjacent, a lot of massive destruction. We are talking about a 10-kilometer stretch of destruction by this water. Houses have been brought down, concrete houses have been brought down. The iron sheets are on the ground. There was a playing ground where there were swings and children's playing equipment. All those have been moved downstream. There have also been cars that were upstream. Those cars have also been pulled down by the immense pressure from the water. The windscreens have been crushed off. And apart from that, we've spoken with the residents, and there's the issue of displeasure with the way this issue has been handled. They have said that this dam is just one among 4 in that area. It is a dam that is within an expansive agricultural area. This is a farm that is privately owned, and it is a farm that also conducts a massive or large-scale agriculture when it comes to horticultural products and also avocados and macadamia. And some of those people who might have also been fallen victims or casualties of this tragedy were working in this farm, and they have said that over time they have been complaining that the waters of this dam have been seeping in. They have seen cracks, they've seen the water trickle down with the successive rainfall that has been falling in this side of the Rift Valley, and they've been able to complain to the management, but they're saying even their protests for this dam for something to be done have never been had to, or somebody has never addressed them. Rather, even when they complain to the local authorities, they've just been met by silence. And this is something maybe the Interior Cabinet Secretary would be able to put to task later on, to come and address that issue of, in terms of negligence from his officers, in terms of listening to the complaints of the residents. Another thing that has also emerged is that they're saying this is just one dam, there are 4 dams, and they are afraid that these other 4 dams, because of the torrential rain and because of the pressure that this previous dam has been witnessing, that they are also afraid that this is just it's just a ticking time bomb, that these other 3 dams will maybe cave in, and in a sense they would also, they are literally just hanging, their lives are hanging in the balance, and their welfares are hanging in the balance, and they really would like that issue to be addressed. On the ground, we have officers from the Kenya Defence Forces. They are the ones on the ground trying to help in the evacuation and in the excavation of the mud and silt. The roads have been made impassable. They've actually been rendered impassable. That road is a road that connects the agricultural part of Solai to this area of Nakuru town, and now most people have been stranded on that end. Getting access into this area is also an issue. Nobody can just come in anyhow. Security apparatus are also on high alert because it's really a delicate area. And what we are also have been able to gather is that some of the bodies rather are being found almost 3 kilometers from the scene or from the place where they were being washed off. They are saying initially, when they had the residents' accounts, they're telling us is that they had a loud bang, and it was, in a sense, they thought that it was going to rain. Some of them are also asking some of their relatives to go out and put water storage equipment rather outside to tap in some of this rainwater. But unfortunately, they didn't see the rain fall, and what they had, what followed, is just a huge gush of water that swept in its wake a lot of property, a lot of people. There are fears that the death toll keeps increasing by the hour. In the morning, we had mentioned that there were over 20 people feared dead, but right now the number is at over 30, and we are fearful also that this number is expected to rise as this recovery mission continues. And so far, the Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa is also here. He has arrived. He's in the county, and he was in a meeting, and he was also going to tour these dams. So we are really following up this story. We'll be looking at the aftermath, and most importantly, from the affected persons, how were they found when this tragedy occurred, and just how to gauge our preparedness also as a county in terms of disaster management. What we have seen from the ground is that they were prepared. There is a sense of statements or reports that the emergency apparatus or those the situation, the response rather, was really quick and fast, and so they were able to bring most of the people to the hospitals and the dispensaries in the region. But we will be following up on this story, Ken. It is a developing story, and in subsequent bulletins we'll be able to give you an update of what is happening here in Solai after this dam tragedy. Ken.
All right, Bridget, from the pictures that we see right behind you, it was devastating, and it must have been traumatizing to see what was happening and for those residents to witness exactly what happened there. We know the authorities are on the ground, but Bridget, we're talking about more than 1,500 families who are affected. Talk to us before we let you go about now what they're calling for. We know there is need now for food and non-food items, including medicine. Have you heard about that? What are they doing about that? Do you have bodies such as Red Cross who have already set up on the ground and are ready to receive such? All right, we lost communication with Bridget, but basically the pictures behind you from Solai, the aftermath of that tragedy. Now the death toll is about 32 confirmed officially. Let's tell you what we know as at this point about this strategy of the Patel Dam. All right, let's show these graphics now. We know that about 32 confirmed deaths from official sources. We also know that over 40 people mostly have been injured, and most bodies that were recovered are from Bahati sub-county, and they are the sub-county mortuary. 8 bodies bodies are at the Nakuru County Level 5 mortuary. 13 of the injured are receiving treatment at the Nakuru Level 5 hospital. And the incident happened between 7:30 p.m. yesterday and 8 p.m. yesterday. About 300 structures, translating to about 1,500 families, have been affected. Destruction stretches about 10 kilometers. Some bodies, as Brygettes say, were recovered 3 kilometers away. We also know that KDF and NYS Red Cross officials are already on site. We know earlier that Fred Matiang'i visited. We know Eugene is also there. The security team is currently in meetings. Matiang'i planned the visit, but we know that he was on the ground. We understand right now that Eugene is still the devolution cabinet secretary, is still holding meetings. So as soon as we have more information from there, we'll definitely be telling you. We have Enoch Sikolia on the ground at Solai. As soon as we have him, also we will bring him on air to tell us what's happening. And just to recap, what we know as at this point is that 32 bodies have been recovered, and that's from the official sources. That's the death toll so far. It may rise, but that's what's been confirmed. Over 40 people have been injured, and they're being treated in different hospitals. We will get you a lot of information out of that area. We have two reporters on the ground on this. Right, as soon as we have Sikolia, we'll definitely be going to Solai to at least show you the pictures that are coming out of that area. Those are the pictures we have as at now. That tragedy happening between 7:30 and 8 p.m. last night after it burst its bank and spilled the water to an area where the people are living, and flattening over 300 structures.